What is up, Fin fans? Last day of training camp open to the public. Last day of actual training camp is until the 31st, so they still will be practicing and doing training camp stuff up until the 31st. But going to give you guys some updates, some information, some stuff that I saw. Just a little teaser, and I probably put it in the title. Absolute dominant day by the Miami Dolphins defense with multiple interceptions, multiple sacks. There was even a huge fight that like started to fall into the dome as they were pushing each other. Like just an absolute crazy, crazy, crazy day. But yeah, we're gonna get into this. I have to put my microphone on myself right here because I gotta scroll and read today's pressers. So Mike McDaniel met with the media today. He said Kenneth Grant is day to day, but nothing, but something we're not something we're worried about. Good thing I've read that properly. Jeez Louise. Then Mike McDaniel said Grant day to day, something that the toughest of competitors would it would hold back, but something we're not worried about. So a little more clarity on that. McDaniel says, talking about the running back room, which obviously we're going to talk about because Jalen Wright got hurt. Yes, as I say, yes, with confidence that this running back that thus far, I'm assuming, the growth is where it needs to be. The key is that it can't flatline. That's what makes the NFL game hard. He says, my expectation is that as they continue to grow with each practice, I'd say the locker room believes in them, and each one of them is out to prove they can be counted on. Now, this is coming after the rumor mill is now churning even more that the Miami Dolphins are interested in Brian Robinson Jr. of the Washington Commanders. And I put a tweet out talking about that, so if it does happen, I'm going to rub it in some people's faces. But I initially said that they should go after him because of the injury to Alexander Madison and the fact that our running backs are getting banged up so much. And now that Jalen Wright is hurt, this rumor mill might actually start to become something legit that's going to happen because they need that depth. Now, again, I would trade for Brian Robinson Jr. I'm assuming that's his name, the running back for the Washington Commanders. I'm not giving anything higher than a fifth-round pick. He's on a contract year, and he does have an injury history. I'm not giving anything higher than a fifth, but he does have familiarity, which I always say that word wrong, with Tua in Alabama. So we will see about that. Mike McDaniel said Darren Waller has been extremely diligent in the playbook and knew all his assignments, and Tua's snap count. He was there, and if you follow me on Twitter, I took a picture of him. He was there. At one point, he goes inside, he comes back out. He was on. He had his pads. He'll probably start to practice more in the next couple of weeks, up to the last day of camp, and then he'll be practicing with the team. We'll see if he actually plays during the first game against Indy, but as of right now, he's there. Wow. Everyone benefits from increased competition when you visit with someone that unequivocally makes clear that that I was out this off season and it was nothing to do with that. It would be a part of a team. McDaniel's talking about Judon there, so apparently he's saying that Judon is really like has something to prove here. McDaniel said he had a truly great meeting with Matthew Judon, good energy, selflessness, made it clear that he wanted to be a part of the team. Dolphins head coach Mike McDaniel said today is a big chance for backup running back Jalen Wright and Ollie Gordon. Unfortunate, absolutely unfortunate. Based on yesterday's practice, we thought it was the best practice the Edge group had in a productive offseason and training camp. We think that's why you do something like that. It's about the team being the very best you can. When you inject some competition, you get to see everything. Who are they? How do they respond? Talking about the addition of Judon. Each practice after you do something like that, it tells you how they react. McDaniel said the starters know the plan is for them to appear Saturday. So we are going to see the starters playing in the preseason game against the Jacksonville Jaguars. How long? I don't think you'll see the defense. The defense spanked the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think you'll see the offense for a lot. The plan is for the starters to play, yada yada. He says, I want to see them get the last juice, jitters out. So essentially, he's having them play the preseason game because they didn't play last week, and they're not going to play or do football for like 2 weeks. No Kendall Sheffield from Miami Dolphins today. He's day to day, maybe a week. Mike McDaniel said soft tissue injury. McDaniel said no Dolphin employee has the responsibility of cut down days. Grim Reaper, if you watch Hard Knocks, that's essentially the guy who goes around and tells them, coach wants to see you with your playbook. He said that would be tough for social interaction for the rest of the day. How are they going to know to go up and see you? That doesn't make any sense to me. There's a lot of roster battles that will be decided today and Saturday night. That's why I'm excited to see Saturday night. There's he says that this is the best batch of battles for jobs he has seen in 4 years. For first and second year players, you want to see their technique. They are learning, leaning into it, or making stuff up, or making stuff up is trying to make the play. The way to make the play is to focus on things in your position, the specific skills that get you an opportunity to make a play. He finally says the way to make a play and make the team is to not try to make a play, but make something up. Essentially the long version of what I just said. But yeah, that's Mike McDaniel, not McDaniel's, presser. And there were some things that he said that were interesting. Unfortunately, he was talking about the running backs, and it doesn't look good. Essentially, I get to hold my microphone now. It doesn't look good from his standpoint because he got carted off, and then I saw the doctor essentially walking over to where he was. So that kind of, and I had Jalen Wright. I had so much hope for him, so we'll see. Hopefully, he's okay. I'll probably get you some more information on that either tomorrow. In my preview for the preseason game. Absent from joint practice today, Tyreek Hill, Devon Achane, Kendall Sheffield, Andrew Meyer, Austin Jackson, Baron Matos, Ashton Davis, and Kenneth Grant, as well as Ethan Bonner. So when it came to today, like I said, the defense was dominant. I was watching our O-line versus their D-line. I would say their D-line won. I'm not going to go into examples of who beat who and all that stuff, but I will say that their defensive line definitely beat our offensive line. One-on-ones, though, there was a pass from Tua to Isaiah to Estridge. Holy moly! It is on the Miami Dolphins Twitter. Maybe I'll post it in the community tab for you guys. He dropped that thing in a bucket. The defender was all over Estridge, and right, like a beautiful pass from Tua. When they were doing one-on-ones, Tua was sharp. When they were doing red zone, Tua was sharp. Like Tua was really good in one-on-ones and red zones. He was throwing darts for touchdowns. Very, very good. Then it came to 11-on-11s, not in the red zone, and he looked sloppy at times, right? There was a few passes where it looked like Malik Washington kind of got caught up in the corner, so he slowed down a little bit. I tweeted out that it was a beautiful pass, but unfortunately it was a little further out, and that's because the corner was draped all over Malik, so he kind of slowed him down a little bit. If he didn't, right, because it hit his fingertips, like it was right there. Beautiful pass, but like I said, unfortunately, went through his hands. Zach Wilson, he threw another pass where he play action rolled out to his left and then again tried to throw it to Ethan Bonner right in the ground. I leaned over to Alan. Alan Papart was sitting to my left. I leaned over to him and I was like, geez. And Alan looked at me. He goes, if Zach Wilson wasn't due $6 million guaranteed, he wouldn't be on this team. Like, supposedly from what I'm hearing, Ewers is the better quarterback, but due to the fact that Zach Wilson is getting $6 million guaranteed, that's the reason he's the backup quarterback, which really sucks because just put the best guy out there. And I know what some of you guys are saying. I read your comments and I read your tweets that you want someone out there with expertise and someone who's already played the game. And I get that. I think it's raining right now. I think it's pouring here. I totally get that. But, and a lot of you guys are like, Zach Wilson's won 2 games against Josh Allen. I get that. But to me, the guy who gives you the best, I'm trying to reposition my hand, the guy who I think has the better skills is Quinn Ewers. But obviously, I'm sitting here, I'm thinking the TV's on with static. No, it's the rain outside. But it's here no there. We have no say in the matter. Zach Wilson is your backup quarterback. I didn't see Quinn Ewers for the 2 days I was here, so that must tell you something. Zach Wilson is your backup quarterback. But like I said, on defense, holy guacamole. Mika Fitzpatrick with a pick that easily could have been a pick six. And then I think Jack Jones with another interception. Zach Sealer, the first play on defense, sacks Trevor Lawrence in red zone drills, which they start from the 15-yard lines. The Dolphins had like a ton of touchdowns. Like I said, Tua was just doing his thing. The Jaguars offense, starting offense, not even just starting offense, sorry. The Jaguars' entire offense, their first, second, and third string, 2 touchdowns in the whole red zone drill. That isn't normal. So, like, absolutely craziness there. Dolphins defense completely won today. They also were very chippy. There was a lot of fights. And, you're like, oh, cool, good. That shows their toughness, yada, yada. But it gets to a point where you're like, all right, have a little bit more, be competitive. But, like, because one of the fights, like I said, got so bad it started to spill into the dome. Which, again, if you follow me on Twitter, and I think I posted it in the community tab, I did that for you guys, too. I gave you guys little updates in the community tab. Hopefully you guys can see that before I make my videos. Defensive day. Like I said, Jalen Wright got hurt. It looked like Isaiah Brown got hurt at one point, which really sucks. I think I saw another guy on a cart. Who was it? Cornell Armstrong? It was another player I saw on a cart getting carted. Banged up today. But, TD asked me if I had to grade today's practice, what would I grade it? I said I gave the defense a 10 out of 10. The only way it gets better is if the Jaguars scored no touchdowns, which is going to happen. I gave the offense a 6 out of 10. It got real sloppy when they weren't in the red zone and doing one-on-ones. Like when they were doing situational drills and when they were doing midfield 11-on-11s, it got sloppy. One of the plays, they were doing a situational drill with Tua out there. It ended up being 4th and 5, and Tua threw a laser to, I think, Taj across the middle on a crossing route or a slant. Beautiful to pick up the 4th and 5. It was like a 15-yard pass. Beautiful. But then time ran out. Not time like in the game, but like the horn went off and it was done of that rep. So again, 6 out of 10. I think Tua had a bounce back day from yesterday, but again, it wasn't great, and that's probably why you'll probably see him on Saturday. Trying to think. I think he met with the media. Let me see if I can give you guys. I am so hungry. I ate like half an egg sandwich today. Tua discussing how the absence of Tyreek Hill has allowed him to develop chemistry with other receivers, why the timing was off between him and his receivers towards the end of practice. And like I was saying, that I was getting a little ridiculed with on how it was a beautiful deep pass, but obviously it wasn't caught. I didn't say anything. People like starting with me. One person started with me. I tweeted out that Judon is going to wear 8 until cut downs happen, and he's going to go to 91. And somebody tweeted out he's wearing 9. So I took a picture of him, literally maybe about like 20 feet from me. I took a picture of him. I zoomed it in and I posted it. I was like, he's wearing 8. People like fight with me just to fight with me. It's funny to me. Overall, my trip here and the 2 practices I've seen, defense has won both of them. Offense is very sloppy. I don't know if it's me or not. Good thing I'm not going into the games this year. But the offense was sloppy both days. And I didn't get to see Quinn Ewers, which makes me sad. Big shout out to the media guys. I got to sit with them. I helped them. One of the passes in a situational drill, Trevor Lawrence tried to throw it, and Bradley Chubb smacked that ball down, and people were like, who smacked it? I was like, it was Chubb. And they were like, it was Chubb. One of the guys. I got to meet Joe Rose. Kim Bocamper was there. It was super cool. I got to see it and meet a lot of people. I got to meet a lot of you guys. I'm going to talk about that in the vlog. But it was a super fun trip. Definitely going to try to do it next year. We'll see how that all pans out. Like I said, it's raining now. There was fire in the Everglades yesterday, so it was really smoky. It's not that bad today. After I upload this, I got to hurry up and get to the airport. I got a 2 o'clock. I got to be there by 2. I got a 3 o'clock flight. And I don't know if you can hear that. It's the thunder. I got to head home. So, and then you'll see me tomorrow in the in the office talking about that stuff. But again, big defensive day. Offense looks sloppy, but overall the Dolphins definitely won today's joint practice. So overall they had 4 joint practices. I say they win 2, they lose 2. So you can decide on which ones those are. But I will see you guys tomorrow talking about the preview of the Dolphins Jaguars preseason game. I will see you live Saturday, and the vlog probably be out tomorrow. Other than that, like usual, stay classy.